Yo, what is up, YouTube? Brody here. I think I just made the best song I've ever made. I just got out of the craziest session. Artist Krim, Irish artist that I've been working with a bunch. I'll link them in the description below. We've been working on a bunch of new songs, really trying to craft their new style, craft my new style. We've been really down this rabbit hole of combining, which you've seen in a ton of my videos if you've watched them, combining folk music with like post-hardcore and shoegaze music. Finding a lot of common threads between there. And I feel like we really had a light bulb moment here. As usual, I'm going to put this session in my Patreon. You can download the instrumental to this, or you can download the Logic session and like thumb through all the stems and plugins and what I'm doing here. I'll put that in the link below, the link to my Patreon. Really like how this turned out. I want to run through the session, show you guys what all we did on that. And yeah, I'll just get right into it. It sounds like this. A lot of organic textures, very rich, dense. Big, hard-hitting, melancholic rock part. Big contrast moment. Verse 1. I love that like vocal pad there. Goes back to the hook again. I love it because you hear the big rock section, but all of the folk elements is still happening. Little post-chorus. Verse 2, a little more energy than the first one. Some soft drums, shaker and tambourine. You hear the shruti box, this like organ instrument that I have. Can't wait to hear vocals on this one. From here we hit like a pre-chorus bridge, which is the same as the intro. Love that little sound effect. Hook, but this time we have like the double bass going on. It gets heavier. Some noise guitar. That feedback just going on. Love that. Outro. I love that so much. I was like a little bit tired before filming this video, and hearing that again has me like so like alert and excited again. Like that, I don't know. I love how this turned out. I feel like this is just so many of my influences packed into one, and it becomes its own thing. I feel like it's very me, very Krim, very new thing to my ears. And let's dive into it. Started off, we were prior to this session just kind of talking about influences, talking about goals, talking about what we wanted to make with this song, and just catching up. It's been a little while since our last session together. While we were talking, I was just like fiddling on my acoustic guitar, and I came up with this part. Tracked in two different ways. We played like the arpeggiated stuff and then the little bass line. And then it evolves to chords. You can hear. I love how that sounds. And that was what started the song. From there, I did one more highest energy part of those acoustic guitar chords. A faster finger-picked part. Very dramatic, very cool part. Some just like nice compressed, but aside from that, pretty chill guitars. They're compressed on the way in here, CL1B and LA2A on my UAD console, and then just kind of doing their thing. The chain is sounding good enough. The guitar sounds good enough. It's through my baby bottle microphone that's right here. But yeah, I recorded that. From there, we have some extra guitar layers. I'm just going to kind of go down in order. While talking, we wanted to kind of do like a very dense folk, like Adrian Lenker kind of approach at first. That was the vision. Like an Adrian Lenker, a Sigur Rós, a like very textural, dense like amount of things happening. Took that guitar part, looped that like 16, 32 bars, and just kept stacking more and more layers until we had pretty much everything here minus the band section. Just wanted to make it as dense and full as possible. From there, we had this layer of guitar harmonics. I was in this open tuning on capo 3, and then I just played the 12th fret, which would be 15th fret harmonics, and made this out of it. I put little Alter Boy on it to pitch it up an octave and give it some of those glitchy artifacts. Without it, it sounds like this. It's subtle, and in the mix, you kind of don't notice it that much, but that little extra detail is cool to me. We move down one, and we have that same one put through like a telephone effect and some digitalis and RC20 for like bit crushing. And that's causing that cool transition that we hear into the last chorus. Love how that sounds. What that is just me automating the bit crusher on RC20. I love that. It takes it from like the melody to just noise, just digital noise. A very fun sweeping moment happening there. Then we have another one of my favorite things, more guitar. Two of these are guitar and one of these is mandolin. Taking my EBow and my slide to play these pads. Pressing them all together a little bit with the LA3A. I have one left and right, and then one center. Right is the guitar, left is the mandolin, center is the guitar. Sounds kind of weird on its own, but you add it in context of everything, and I think it turns out really nice. You kind of hear it poking through in the sides. From there is where I kind of get into my post-rock bag. I'm doing a lot of like, I did 3 different takes of vocal layers. I just like sang into my mic some vocal melodies, no words, just like noises. And then I took them, pitched them up with a little Alter Boy. I compressed them all together and then added some shaper box to reverse them rhythmically, added some reverb and delay, and I got this sound. It sounds so weird. It sounds like some like made up language. It sounds like, okay, if you remember, okay, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, it sounds like some of the soundtrack of the Sky Temple in that game. All of the weird, like, bizarre voices. I just love how that sounds, especially in the verses. It feels very familiar, but also alien. It sounds very like optimistic, but also melancholic. There's a lot of ways it can be interpreted, I think. And I love making sounds with the human voice, even though that is so stretched from what my normal voice sounds like. It is just such a cool sound. And I think the listener can pinpoint when something does have a vocal quality to it and relate to it more. It feels very human. And that's why I like using voice in my writing. That sounds so cool. And that little melody, the center one, the da 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 da, it happens kind of polyrhythmically. It never keeps repeating. It doesn't repeat on like the same cycle that it should. But I think because of that, when it lines up and hits that melody, it's really rewarding. I love that. I love that so much. From there, we have banjo, panned left and right. It's a simple finger-picked thing. If you hear, it's kind of a sloppy take. There's like, I'm compressing it to tame some of the peaks, but there are a lot of parts where I hit a wrong note or come in late or like make some fret noise. But I wanted to leave that. I wanted to kind of, we were talking about this idea of making imperfections like the beauty of something. Like, I think the mess ups are what make this part feel more human. If it was just like a perfect MIDI banjo, it wouldn't sound the same. But because I recorded my own banjo, my own playing styles, my own like weaknesses in my playing and like own mess ups, it becomes more me. What is it we're talking about in the Rick Rubin book? He mentions this pottery that's broken, and then the broken cracks are filled in with gold, and that is what repairs it. And then because of that, it's more beautiful post being destroyed than it was before. I am real into sashiko stitching for like repairing clothes. The whole idea of like wabi sabi in general, like things that the imperfections are what give it its identifying piece, its own like beauty to it. I don't know. We're kind of getting deep into this. This is like heady territory, but I think that that's an important thing to be thinking about when you're writing music. Like, what is the overarching message? What are your standards? What are the messages, the things you live by? What is your code? I don't know. I think those are really important conversations to have in your music and your creating in general, in life in general. And I don't know. I think with this song specifically, really trying to lean into those imperfections. I didn't do any auto tuning on those vocal pads. I didn't quantize this banjo. There's a lot of things that you could have done differently, but that's what makes this so cool. I take that banjo part and I run it through halftime, and the verses in the outro sound like this. It gets like it sounds like it's raining. It's like you can hear all the little woody clicking sounds. I love how that sounds there. Next, we use the Shruti box. It is off camera here. I've mentioned it before. It's like this Indian organ, pipe organ type instrument. It's a drone instrument. You like crank this pedal and it will keep sustaining whatever notes you have opened on it. And I usually like to play a chord that kind of fits within the key of the song and have it ring out throughout a lot of it. It sounds like this on its own. I love that sound. Very dense, very cool. You can hear a lot of like circular sounds of like the reeds and like the lungs of the instrument going. Very like human sounding instrument. I call it like a real life synth pad. Just goes on forever like that. Sounds really nice. I'm layering it with some halftime to give it some extra low end. And that really fills out some of the more minimal sections, like that with the acoustic guitar. Let's see here when it comes in. I love that sound. Also talking about imperfections, you can hear some noise of my room in the Shruti box recording. At one point, the pedal fell on its side and made a kind of crashing sound, but I kept it in. I liked how that sounded. And it was part of the process. It was real, and I wanted to capture that. From there, we have some mandolin that I tracked. I like the idea, similar to like how you would track acoustic guitar on a chorus section to get the high string noise. I wanted that with like a different tonality. So I've been using the mandolin for that recently, and I recorded this. Little melody on the lower string, and then these pedal tones up top really fit in nice when everything happens. You can even hear it here. Then again, in the verses, I take that and I pitch it down an octave with halftime, just to get some nice woody clicking sounds. That really fills out the side information, some of the high-end stuff happening, but in like a more unique way. That's so cool. Next is one of my favorite parts. I played this on acoustic guitar, pitched it down an octave, and it sounds like I'm recording an upright bass in the song. Sounds really cool. Especially on verse 2 with the drums. That's a really unique way. Like I could have just played bass guitar, but this is just a little more unique, a little more organic, a little more natural sounding. Next, we have some electric guitar that I recorded with my Chase Bliss Dark World reverb. It's got this really cool modulated reverb that sounds pretty lo-fi. It has this really nice warbling texture to it. So I like to put it 100% wet and kind of play this like long drawn out notes, and I made this. Very ghostly sounding. You can hear it over the verse. But it really does add some nice high-end air to it. And then I take a version of that that's a little bit quieter and a little more verbed out. And that's what you hear on the verse. So yeah. Turn it up. It's really like emotional, melancholic kind of melody. And I think the warblingness of it, that vibrato happening, adds a lot more emotion to it. I think is really nice. I love that pedal. I love that guitar tone. Such a cool texture. Really subtle, really in the back, but I think it really is like the air of the song. It's like the ambience, the world that it lives in. It makes it sound a little bit haunted, you know? There's some really happy major key things happening. And then you have things like that in the Shruti box that are kind of putting it in this like uneasy kind of setting, which I really enjoy. From there, we hit our drums. Very simple, very what I'm standard doing. My Superior Drummer 3 with the death metal kit at its core, doing some additional mixing and sample stacking, but straightforward. Radiator, Oxford inflator, and API compressor, kind of giving it some excitement. And yeah, from there, I guess before I get ahead of myself, that's the drums, but that was the folk side of this song. Like without the rock band section, that is all of this together. Which I think really stands on its own in a really cool way. Some really nice textures. And we had all of that done before we started with the rest of the song, the drums, the rock band portion. We had all these parts written and then kind of arranged it. And then we went to the drums. So yeah, the drums are the death metal kit like I showed. And on the hooks, it's like full velocity for the most part, rock drum programming. But on verse 2 is when we bring it in, and it's still the same exact kit, same exact mixing. I just lower the velocities a bunch, and it is this really nice, soft kit. I think it fits perfectly. I love that sound. This kit is so versatile. I feel like you wouldn't believe me if I said I used the kit made for death metal to record this soft, like, folk drums, but that's what I did. I love that sound. So yeah, the drums are the first thing I recorded. I first thing I recorded post the folk side. I thought it was going to be cool to try to like program drums to this and then see what the rock band part would look like. Because I very intentionally wanted to avoid having it feel like disjointed sections of a song. I wanted it all to be one. So I wrote the drums to all of that and then let that dictate the guitar parts that I was writing. That way it could all be cohesive and all play together. Have some aux percussion happening on verse 2. Did some just shaker and tambourine. Nothing crazy. Compressing them with the DBX 160. Nice glue compressor. That's a lot of energy. But yeah, after recording those drums, I did rhythm guitar. I went and did this. Really love that tone. Post-chorus part sounds like this. Same chords, just some muted stuff. It's my Strat on the neck pickup through my PV amp over here. No pedals or anything, just straight into the PV. It gets this really glassy, Marshall-y, like J-rock kind of tone, especially because I'm on the neck pickup. So hear it especially here. Nice and gainy, but still a lot of clarity and a lot of top end to it. Doing some soothe, some notching EQ to get rid of any unpleasant frequencies. OTT is my guitar compressor. Just brings it forward a lot. It kind of does the DBX 160 thing, but a little more modern of a flavor. From there, I recorded this guitar lead. Again, using my Dark World pedal that I used for those modulated kind of sounds in the clean section, but I did it through my amp, my PV amp, so it's very distorted too. On the left side, it's 100% wet. On the right side, I'm playing a different harmony, and there's a little bit of the dry poking through. It sounds like this. Very noisy, post-rocky, shoegazy thing. Get that side, just really crazy, screechy. And this side, you can hear the pick attack of the guitar. I love that. Super dramatic. It's like the distorted version of some of like the more yearning kind of like emo stuff happening on the folk side. I feel like they're very related parts, just different tones. And then on the last part where I start adding like the double bass and like the breakdowny drums. Yeah, the drums get really intense there. It's fun. Just for a little bit, I switch it up and go. Kind of having fun on it. But anyways, on that part, just to make it more hectic, I also recorded a layer of like a bunch of pedals on, a ton of feedback on my amp. And I just let that go through the whole time. Then I get my delay and have it start to like feedback here. And then this happens in the outro. So it's like this big climax of emotion, of like noise, of energy, and then it starts to fade away. You kind of don't hear it that much until I point it out there, but it really is kind of blaring throughout this. I love that. And that noise takes such a otherwise like beautiful outro and just adds some uncomfortableness to it. I love how that fades away. Doing a lot of automating on this outro. Fading some things out, reintroducing some new things in the second half. To make it sound very alive, very breathing. Lastly, we have bass. Parallel tracking, clean signal, DI. That I'm then turning into dirt. It is Ampeg SVT, LA2A, Saturn, some EQ, radiator. Usually I make my bass amp clean part a little less dirty, but with this song I wanted the bass tone in general to be super low MIDI, not too much high into it. So yeah, the second half I'm sending through my guitar amp. And it's getting really bitey high mid stuff. Gluing it all together. Compression. The decapitator is doing a bunch. Doing some fun little counter melody stuff too. It's my P bass. And it sounds kind of farty on its own, to be honest, but that's kind of how bass tones work a lot of times. When you plug it in with the rhythm guitar and the drums, it sounds huge. And especially because that guitar tone is like thicker, you don't want that high end in it. It fits really nicely in that pocket. And then you have it. That is all of the layers here. Turns into some really high energy climactic stuff when you put it all together. I love this section. Yeah, super stoked with how this turned out. I feel like Krim and I really knocked it out of the park with this one. One of my favorites, one of his favorites as well. Yeah, appreciate you guys. I hope this was interesting. I hope this was fun. I think this is one of my best. I feel like I say this every time, but right now I'm feeling something special about this one, so I'm happy to share it with you guys. Thanks so much. If you made it this far in the video, really appreciate you. And with that all being said, hope you have a good rest of your day, and peace out.